Good intro. All right, here we go. Oh, and we're on the air. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. St. Joseph's Prep Baseball here on WSJP. St. Joseph's Prep taking on Conwell-Egan. We are starting way early here. It's 8 minutes before our actual start time. Chris Grasso on the mound for St. Joe's Prep. He has been absolutely dominant this season. No earned runs. 6 hits given up in 10 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts on the year. And for today's broadcast, I'm Ryan Sullivan, joined by Chris Colman as that goes out of play 0-2. Chris, how we doing?
Pretty good, Ryan. It's a little chilly here today, but nice day for baseball, sunny, and a really good pitching matchup today here between Brady Guzzi and Chris Grasso.
And no doubt about it, Chris Grasso 0-2 gets him looking. Chris Grasso starting out with a strikeout, and that was against Keegan Johnson. Johnson coming in this game was batting .357. As Chris Grasso gets his first strikeout of the game. Next up, foul ball from Dan Freitag. Chris Grasso, 4 straight strikes to start this game off. 0-1 from Grasso to Freitag, but Iannacone goes a bit to his right. Grasso thought he put the slider in there. Freitag went ducking. Typically, umpire is not a fan of when players duck down. But now it is 1-1 for Chris Grasso. Iannacone once again moving to his right. Might see another slider coming. We do, and he gets him to go. Check swing, 1-2.
Great pitch there, Ryan. He went back to the slider, and it worked on the outside corner.
Grasso looking for his second straight strikeout of this game. Packed house here at FDR Park in South Philly. Grasso gets him swinging. 2 straight strikeouts for number 7, Chris Grasso. And up next, well, I think this is the matchup of the year. The Miami man versus what I think is the boogeyman of the PCL, Brady Guzzi. Absolutely dominant this season as Grasso has this one hit high into center field. And the play is made for the out. Chris Grasso goes 1-2-3, one pitch, gets Brady Guzzi out. And just like that, Chris, we're going to the bottom of the first inning.
Ryan, a great inning there for Chris Grasso, and obviously that was the matchup we were all looking for. I honestly thought that Brady Guzzi would take the pitch there and kind of slow it down, but he goes for it off the bat, made good contact, but a nice play in center field and a great inning for Chris Grasso overall.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, I didn't even get really much of a chance to, talk about this game as, we just got on the air. The game started very early. I mean, you probably heard me. I was saying, let's get on the air. Let's get on the air. We got to go. Game's about to start. So now we are on the air, and we're getting ready to go. And for Conwell-Egan starting here today will be Caleb Quavs. And I was expecting to see Brady Guzzi on the mound today. That was kind of how this game was hyped up, but it is going to be Quavs on the mound today for Conwell-Egan. Brady Guzzi in center.
Yeah, Ryan, this was really the anticipated matchup. Obviously, like you said, all ACC, Brady Guzzi going to UVA and Chris Grasso going to UMiami. And Guzzi coming off of that no-hitter against Newman Goretti, just an amazing pitcher. And we've seen him, he's given up 2 hits this year, I believe, and no runs still. So obviously going on a great year, and really did think we'd see him today, but we'll see how this prep lineup can do.
Well, nonetheless, St. Joe's Prep with pretty much the same lineup as they have had the entire season, as it will be Emilio Iannacone, Pat Buzza, and Chris Grasso to get things started for St. Joe's Prep. Quavs, who was on the mound here today, he is yet to pitch this season. So this will be his first appearance on the mound, and he goes up against what can only be described as a stacked St. Joe's Prep lineup. About to get the throwdown in just a couple of moments here on WSJP. Once again, coming in a very early start here. We were expected for a 4 o'clock start. Started at 3:52. And as I said, I was saying, let's get on the air, let's get on the air. I mean, you probably heard me. I got a little hot mic there before as this game started. I had a great intro and everything, Chris. I mean, this is crazy. Well, LJ, maybe I should. LJ McKnight, our producer, say maybe I should do the intro now. It's the top of the first already ended. Might as well just keep it on going here on WSJP. But leading off for the Hawks of St. Joe's Prep, it will be Emilio Iannicone. Star catcher for St. Joe's Prep has been dominant with a 400 average in 24 plate appearances, 8 hits, 2 walks. Has only struck out twice this season, and an OPS of 1.050. First pitch coming to Emilio Iannicone. We'll see if the Hawks can get a lead off. First pitch, low, ball 1. Iannicone shaking his head no. Not a strike. Looks like he's coming out with a bit of confidence here today. Quav's next pitch puts it in there for a strike just on the outside corner.
Ryan, we don't really see catchers in the leadoff position, but this year Iannicone's done a great job getting on base and really starting off offensive rallies for the Prep.
Has been the leadoff for his past 2 years as the starting catcher for St. Joe's Prep. Next pitch, a bit on the outside, umpire says. It is 2-1. Was a bit of a similar call, or similar pitch location, I apologize, to the last one, so unfortunate for Quavs and company. Now down in the count to Emilio Iannicone. Off speed on the outside, 3-1. We talked about Iannicone's OPS. That on-base percentage has been great this season. A 500 on-base percentage for him, and we'll see if he can get that up on the next pitch. As Iannicone will line this one into right field, and it will go foul. Got to get out of our seats for that one. 330 is the distance on the right field side here at FDR Park. Specifically on Richie Ashburn Field, you got Roman Catholic playing on Dick Allen Field just to the right of us. They're going up against Lansdale Catholic. Chris, the Hawks, they had a big win against Lansdale Catholic on I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I apologize. We'll get into that in just a few moments. Full count to Iannicone. Looks at this next one in the dirt. Ball 4. Take your base, Emilio Iannicone, and that will most likely draw John Weaver to be the complimentary runner at first base. Yes, it will. He'll be at first with Patty Veza coming up to the plate.
Yeah, Ryan, you mentioned that Roman game against Lansdale today, and obviously the Prep, 2 big wins against both of those teams, and it's probably going to be a close one on that field. 2 relatively evenly matched up opponents.
Hey, you hit it right on the head there, Chris. Both teams have lost to St. Joe's Prep. Lansdale with the Hawks dominated their game against Lansdale on Tuesday, 27-0 as that ended in 3 innings. The Hawks, the double-digit win over Roman Catholic in the game that they played against each other. First pitch to Veza, a bit on the outside, 0-1.
Ryan, they're giving Iannicone a good amount of room, and he's looking for his first steal of the year, I think.
Weaver on first base as that complimentary runner. Didn't want to cut you off there, Chris. I apologize. As Veza fouls that one off, 0-2. Quav's trying to get back into this, I guess, at-bat, if you will, as he walked Iannicone. And we know John Weaver to be one of the best runners on this team. 4 stolen bases this year for him. That's a 273 average in 24 plate appearances. Quavs looks Weaver back. He throws it back to first. Weaver will slide in safely. Veza 6 hits on the year as Weaver takes a enormous lead at first. They are holding him on, obviously. Quavs looking on the back to Weaver as he's going to steal. That will go to the backstop nonetheless. And Weaver goes halfway to third. Looks like a little frustrated with himself that he didn't go. There's a steal for John Weaver. Not a pass ball because of the fact he was stealing before the ball went to the backstop.
Yeah, Ryan, that's exactly what we were looking for out of Weaver, and now he's in scoring position, no outs. It's a great opportunity for the Prep to get on the board early.
No doubt about it. Runner in scoring position, as you mentioned, Chris. And now Patty Vezza, 1-2, trying to get back into this count. Weaver not being held on. Here's the pitch. Vezza softly hits that one foul. Claus slowly walking back to the mound for Conwell-Egan. Vezza steps back into the box, very deep into that box, you can see. He's pretty much got his foot on the white there. 1-2 to Patty Vezza. Here's the pitch. Off speed, stays alive, fouls it off, and it will go out of play. Very good cut from Patty Vezza on the off speed, staying alive. As we mentioned, I think we would have expected Guzzi to pitch here today, but Conwell-Egan kind of throwing a curveball, no pun intended. Maybe it is pun intended, I don't even know. At St. Joe's Prep here today. Runner in scoring position early in this game with no outs. 1-2 to Vezza. And he fouls it off once again. Patty Vezza. A great at-bat. And it would be great to see him get on base here. He definitely deserves it, as he has been fouling off some very good pitches. Klaus looks back, Weaver at second. Vezza hits this one into center field, and it will get down for a base hit. Weaver, he's being held at third, and he will stay there. Vezza holding it at first as well. Runners on the corners now with no outs.
Really great contact there from Patty Vezza, just getting it through the middle. I thought they might send Weaver there, but it was going to be close, and that hit just a little shallow in center field, and great job from Egan to get it back in.
This is who you want coming to the plate now with runners on the corners. Chris Grasso, 278 average and 24 plate appearances, 5 hits on the season, and has had a great couple of games after a slow start to the season. Vezza stealing second, and Weaver, he will go home, and he will score! St. Joe's Prep an early 1-0 lead over Conwell-Egan.
Great double steal there from the Prep, executed it perfectly, seeing Vezza run, and then right away seeing Weaver go home.
Grasso still has not gotten the pitch to him, as there was once again a runner in scoring position for St. Joe's Prep. Grasso almost got hit on that one. I thought it was coming right for his stomach, but he is able to stay in this at-bat. It's 1-0 to Grasso. Grasso, the Miami commit. Also pitching here today, as we know. We didn't really get much of a chance to talk about it because the top half of the first inning was so short. Next pitch to Grasso, in there for a strike.
Really nice pitch there. You saw it just catch the bottom outside of the zone.
1-1 to Grasso. Seen a couple of balls on the outside corner today to the Hawks hitters as Grasso swings through that one, a strike. Ball curved a bit inside at the end of the pitch. 1-2 to Grasso. Quavis looking for his first out here in the first inning. Vezza not a big lead off second. Grasso takes it right down the middle, strike 3. Quavis' first strikeout of the game. Patty Vezza still on second with Will Ward coming up to the plate for St. Joe's Prep. Ward this season has been one of the best power hitters for St. Joe's Prep. He has been great in pretty much all the games St. Joe's Prep has played. I believe he's played in all 7. Yes, he has. All 7 games, a 381 average, 28 plate appearances. It's the most on the team for St. Joe's Prep. 8 hits on the year, and hopefully one of them could knock in Patty Vezza here, which would be his next one, and would drive in his 8th run of the year. He's tied for 7 on the team with runs batted in. He takes the next pitch low for a ball. It's 2-0 to Ward.
Ryan, we saw a huge home run from him at LaSalle campus versus Roman, and it cleared the right field wall, and it was an absolute moonshot earlier this year.
That's a college field. No, something to note. Next pitch in there for a strike on Ward. 1-2. Or sorry, 2-1. Gloves taking his time on the mound. 2-1 to Ward. Takes it low. 3-1. Opportunity for the Prep to get another base runner on here. On deck for the Hawks, it is Jack Keenan. A lot to talk about when he comes up to the plate, as he has been a magnet to get on base this season. Hopefully no announcers jinx. Knock on wood if you're at home. Ward hits this one sharply into right field for a base hit. Veza holding at third. Runners on the corners again for St. Joe's Prep.
Ryan, great contact there from Will Ward, but also great fielding. Conwell-Egan already playing pretty far in with the outfield and got to it quickly, not allowing Veza to go home.
And now Jack Keenan up at the plate for St. Joe's Prep. Keenan this season, as I mentioned, magnet for the base, a .429 average, 21 plate appearances, 6 hits, but his on-base percentage is .619. That is unbelievable. Veza leads off third with Ward on first. Jack Keenan looking to drive in the second run of the game for St. Joe's Prep. Veza taking a bigger lead, hops back once again to third. Pitch on the outside corner, called for a strike. Keenan kind of waving it off, not really liking the call nonetheless. Stepping off the mound was Quavis. Keenan looking down at third base. Deep breath on the mound from Quavis. Throw back to first. Ward in safely. Bit of a tight one there. Will Ward, bigger guy. Not one of the fastest on the team, but Coach Muth definitely has confidence in him, around the bases. Ward still taking a big lead nonetheless off first. And they'll throw back again. Ward in a bit more safely this time.
Ryan, we've seen teams utilize the pickoff against the Prep. We saw Roman get out a couple guys for the Prep on that pickoff attempt, so definitely want our runners to be a little safe.
Keenan hasn't gotten a pitch down the plate in a while. Wow, is still looking back. Ward does finally throw one on the outside corner again. 0-2 to Jack Keenan.
Ryan, go on, sorry.
It's been a lot of pitches on the outside corner. Sometimes they're called, sometimes they're not. So the Hawks here going to have to be cautious on what they are swinging at and what they're not swinging at. Jump back inside. Behind the plate as Keenan hits this one high and back. I don't think it's going to hit anybody. Nope, it'll just hit a tree. Chris, you were going to say something though before him?
Yeah, like you said, we've seen that a lot of pitches go outside, and the umpire's given a lot of them, especially in this at-bat. We've seen both of them pretty tight calls that Keenan hasn't seemed to like.
Keenan, though, staying alive in the at-bat, similar to Patty Veza, who's on third. Quavis still looking back. Ward at first, and Keenan swings on the off-speed. He strikes out. 2 outs now in the inning. Runner still in the corners. John Sittler now up for St. Joe's Prep. Two strikeouts in the inning for Quavis as Sittler up at the plate for St. Joe's Prep. Sittler, .333 average in 18 plate appearances, 5 hits on the year for Sittler. 3 runs batted in as well, looking for his 4th in the first inning. Pitch on the outside corner again, called for a strike. Crowd here at St. Joe's Prep, or for St. Joe's Prep, I should say, not really liking the calls here in the last 2 at-bats. Step off the mound for Quavis. A lot of pickoff attempts today. Just here in the first inning, so early in the game. Pitch to Sittler that time, really on the outside, 1-1.
Yeah, Ryan, looks like Quavis is still chasing that outside corner, and he misses a little bit on that one, but he's been pretty successful today.
Definitely has. A lot of strikes have been called in the outside corner, And maybe that's something we're going to be going back to a lot today. Next pitch to Sittler. He hits this one into the gap. Veza will score. Ward, he's going to third, and he will stay there. Sittler stays at first. An RBI base hit for John Sittler. John Sittler getting things going for St. Joe's Prep. Not the best game against Lansdale Catholic. He did not get on base in that contest, but he gets himself going here with an RBI single. And once again, runners on the corners for St. Joe's Prep. They'll bring up Danny Matthews for St. Joe's Prep. The Hawks already on their 7th batter. They've been making Cuavas pitch so much here in the first inning. It's been a great start for the Hawks of St. Joe's Prep. First pitch to Matthews. This one is still in play, going down the line, and it will drop foul. Bit hard to see from here. It's all right.
Ryan Matthews is the guy you want up right now, batting .455 on the year, 7 runs scored, and 7 RBI. You can't ask for much more.
No doubt about it with Will Ward on third. Sittler, as I mentioned a couple moments ago, on first for St. Joe's Prep. Matthews looking to drive in some more runs for the Hawks. Back to first from Cuavas again. Sittler, he's going to steal second, but Matthews fouls it off nonetheless. 0-2. The Hawks have been very precautious this season when it comes to swinging at pitches. I don't anticipate Matthews was really pressured to swing at something, as Sittler was stealing second, but it was one right down the plate. I assume he wanted something that had to do with contact, but 0-2. Time called by Matthews at the plate. One more possible pitch for Cuavas here in the first inning. Has 2 more of his earned runs on base currently. Looks back Sittler again. The 0-2. Puts it in the dirt, 1-2. Chris, I mean, the story of this first inning has really been the Hawks just staying alive in the at-bats, obviously scoring the runs, but making Cuavas pitch to start this game.
Yeah, Ryan, we've seen some really long at-bats, especially with the pickoff attempts, and a little bit of mind games from Cuavas here, a lot of stepping off and having batters step off too.
Matthews hits this one slowly to first, and the play will be made to end the first inning, but not before St. Joe's Prep got their first 2 runs of the game. A great piece of hitting from the Hawks as we go into the second inning, and we'll see how they fare in the second as we'll be back in just a few moments. apologize for technical difficulty here. I won't call out our producer, LJ McKnight, for turning down the audio, but I am going to, as Chris Grasso got a strikeout, as you could see on the screen. It's okay, LJ. We all make mistakes.
No, I was making sure that at least I caught it.
You know what? You're right. At least you did catch the error. It's all right. You made up for it, so we're not gonna say anything. Next pitch from Grasso on the outside, 1-1.
Ryan, Tommy Kalita up here. He's batting .231 on the year, 16 plate appearances, a couple hits, and a walk.
Landu was the last batter for Conwell-Egan as he struck out. Grasso, another one in there. That fastball, absolutely dominant. 1-2. Grasso waves off Iannico in the first time, likes the second pitch. Sittler moves a bit to our left. That one in the dirt. First base umpire says there was no swing there from Kalita. 2-2 from Grasso. Grasso, as I mentioned, coming into this game, 20 strikeouts in his first 2 appearances on the mound for the Hawks. Has 3 today, and that will be ball 4. I thought it was 2-2. I guess I had it wrong, but a walk there for Kalita. First base runner of the game for Conwell-Egan. Complimentary runner coming on for them. It will be Dalton Johnson coming on for Conwell-Egan at first base. Dylan Connor up for, or actually, no, I apologize, it is Jake McLean. I thought it was 19. I'm not on point here today. This is not good. Jake McLean, though, up for Conwell-Egan. 250 on the year with 13 plate appearances. First pitch fouled back. That got me to jump. I think I got everybody to jump. Did Teo jump over there, our cameraman? No, okay, he was good. Oh, LJ, I guess he didn't jump either. Chris, I know you did.
Just me and you, Ryan. Just
right.
me and you.
Well, the guys who were actually watching the game jumped. Unbelievable. This is, you know what? We're just going to forget that happened. 0-1. Grasso looks back at first. Delivers one on the outside on the off speed. 1-1. Grasso. 3 strikeouts today, and we saw someone against Bonner Prendy even bring a radar gun to the game. That is just how great Chris Grasso has been. Throw back to first. It will go behind Will Ward. Staying at second will be Johnson. Error there made by St. Joe's Prep. Runner in scoring position for Conwell-Egan.
Ryan, it looked like Will Ward wasn't ready for a little miscommunication between Chris Grasso and Will Ward, but he did a great job to get it back in. I thought that we'd see the complimentary runner rounding to third.
1-1 count now. Grasso trying to get back into this at-bat. Already has a runner in scoring position early in this one with 1 out as he delivers. Puts it just on the outside. Good framing from Iannico, and he wanted that call. Does not get it. 2-1.
Yeah, Ryan, and we've seen Cuavas get that call a bunch of times, so just a little unlucky for Chris Grasso to miss there.
Grasso has been really dominating with the slider on the outside corner, so we'll see if he goes back to it. Fastball, though, there. Grasso puts it in the strike zone. This one fouled back. 2-2. This time I have the count right. It's actually 2-2 this time. Oh man, Mr. Softy's here. I see the freshman baseball team here today for this game, and Mr. Softy's behind us. They got Mr. Softy.
Great time of year, Ryan. The sun's out. Coming on to spring.
Chris Grasso gets him looking. 4 strikeouts today. I guess Chris doesn't really care that Mr. Softy's here. I'll talk about the Chris on the mound. Sorry. That's once again, that's my bad. Moving on, Nick Waldron at the plate for Conwell-Egan. Grasso, 4 strikeouts, as I mentioned today. 2 outs, runner in scoring position for Conwell-Egan. Fouled back. That got WSJP moderator Mr. Burns to jump. We're gonna talk about that for the next couple of days.
Didn't get us, Ryan.
Did not get us this time. That's the real story here. Waldron in the 7-hole slot for Conwell-Egan here today. Iannacone jumping a bit to his right as Grasso delivers. Slider gets it in there. 0-2. Grasso trying to get out of this inning after letting on a base runner and the error on the pickoff attempt. Nobody holding Johnson really on. Alex Orespi kind of holding him on at second. 0-2. Iannacone jumps inside. Possible another slider incoming. We see it, and it's hit to shortstop. Sittler gets down, throws it over to Ward, who will tag out Waldron to end the top half of the inning. The Hawks let on a base runner, but Conwell-Egan cannot do anything with him. We go to the bottom of the second. I mean, Chris, we haven't really had much downtime in this game. There's been a lot going on, and there's been runs and there's been strikeouts from Chris Grasso. The Hawks with such a great start here today. And in a game that you thought was going to be Grasso versus Brady Guzzi, I think everybody in the area thought that was going to be the game. The Hawks having to adjust on the fly.
Yeah, Ryan, I mean, we thought they were going to come out this all-ACC matchup that everyone was hyped for. And either way, we're seeing two teams coming off of huge wins. Conwell-Egan coming off of a win against Father Judge 23-2, and the Prep obviously 27-0 on Tuesday against Lansdale Catholic. So two real high-scoring affairs for both teams, but Chris Grasso has just been so dominant on the mound. No hits yet still through 2 innings.
And you talk about those 4 strikeouts, and I think it's also worth noting the pitch count. Grasso, not many pitches thrown, but for Cuavas in the first inning, I mean, he threw a lot of pitches. The Hawks really were keeping their batters alive.
Yeah, and Cuavas, it's been a real every at bat's a real long at bat. We've got tons of foul balls, tons of 8-9 pitch at bats, and we're seeing a little bit of mind games from him. He's stepping off. We've got batters stepping off, but the Prep's done well so far, and we'll see if they can extend it through Respi now.
Throw down to second, and we'll get started. And Chris introduced them. I'll give a bit of a description. Alex Orespi, the Prep starting second baseman, coming to the plate in the 8-hole slot for St. Joe's Prep. Orespi, a .412 average this season. Went 4 for 4 against Lansdale Catholic on Tuesday. Has notched 7 hits on the season. I mean, that's second on... I apologize. That is technically second on the team. Both guys... There are 2 guys who have 8 hits on the year, but still very impressive. Alex Orespi, starting for the first time on varsity. Pretty much second on the team in hits.
Yeah, Ryan, and we saw a bases clearing triple with the bases loaded against Roman, and that was a real exciting one. He did get thrown out at home, stretching for that inside the park home run, but he's been a real force, and we see this Prep lineup. It's amazing top to bottom.
Next pitch hit high into right center field, and the play will be made for the out by Brady Guzzi in center field. Big sunny day in South Philly. This is my wheelhouse, so I like that word, South Philly. But nonetheless, George Van Deen coming to the plate for St. Joe's Prep. Speaking of my wheelhouse, this is also Emilio Iannacone's and Jack Keenan's. They're from around here as well.
Yeah, Ryan, a close trip for everyone pretty much tonight.
Yeah, only about 20 minutes from St. Joe's Prep. Van Deen up, and he's showing bunt. This one fouled back into the stands. Oh, almost caught by one of the Conwell-Egan supporters here. Van Deen, though, this season has been a pitcher and pretty solid hitter in 13 plate appearances. He's got 5 hits on the season. We'll see if he can maybe get a bunt hit, but he swings through the next one for a strike.
Yeah, Ryan, you mentioned he's hit and pitched, and we've seen him do well on both ends, really.
Only had 1 appearance this season. That was against Holy Ghost Prep. And the Hawks got the win in that game. Next pitch on the outside corner, called for a ball. And Chris, we've seen a lot of those pitches called for strikes here today, but Van Deen looks like he probably got away with one maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's been Cuavas' pitch, that fastball outside all game.
Once again on the outside, but this one a bit too high. 2-2, Van Deen once again staying alive.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're already onto our 6th pitch here, and Cuavas, he's really getting that pitch count high.
Just in the 2nd inning, Van Deen lines this one into right, and the play will be made for the out. Top of the order coming up for the Hawks. Emilio Iannacone coming to the plate for St. Joe's Prep. He led off with a walk in his first appearance. And it was John Weaver, the one to come across the plate for St. Joe's Prep. A bit of a high bat throw to Mason Holmes. I thought Mason Holmes was going to get Mr. Softy earlier, but I think he just went to use the bathroom.
Yeah, definitely a nice day for ice cream. A little cold, but
Yeah, it's a little bit windy up here. I think it's just because we're in the shade. First pitch to Iannicone in the other batter's box, 1-0. As we mentioned, Cuavas with that pitch count high. It's been the story of the game so far. As Iannicone fouls this one off, 1-1. The Hawks making a lot of contact here today. Obviously, the last two have been outs, but they have been into right center field, so it's been a solid start for the Prep, even when they have not gotten guys on bases. Pitch right down the plate to Iannicone, 1-2.
you got to think here, Ryan, that Cuavas will look for that outside corner again with the fastball.
Definitely fair. Will Iannicone swing, and what will be the call? Those are the big questions on this pitch. This one off speed in the dirt, 2-2. Umpire telling everybody to count who was involved in this at-bat. Cuavas likes the call at the plate. He fires, and Iannicone lines this one sharply into left center field for a base hit. Rounding first, he'll stay there, and that will bring John Weaver to first base and Pat Vezza up to the plate.
And Ryan, that is his 9th hit of the year, which I believe might take him to first on the team in hits.
There we go. So now Alex Orespi is officially third on the team in hits, so we clear that up. Nonetheless, Patty Vezza up to the plate for St. Joe's Prep. He's 1 for 1 in this game with a single. That last single he had in the first inning drove Weaver to third base, so maybe he can possibly drive him home here if he's able to knock one into the gap. We'll see if he can, as this one is hit into left field, but the play will be made for the out. That will end the inning. The Hawks get a runner on, cannot do anything with him. We go to the top of the third, and we'll see how that inning fares with Grasso back on the mound for St. Joe's Prep when we come back in a few moments here on WSJP. Back at it here on WSJP, third inning action of St. Joseph's Prep versus Conwell-Egan. The 9-hole hitter, Edwards, coming up to the plate for, actually I apologize, the 8-hole hitter for Conwell-Egan, Edwards, coming up to the plate as Chris Grasso has 4 strikeouts here today, looking to add more to his total. 24 now on the year for the Miami commit. Jack Keenan playing a bit in. Maybe a possible bunt the Hawks are looking for, but Edwards swings through the first pitch, 0-1.
Ryan, he really blew that right by Edwards there, right down the middle, but that fastball came in real hard.
Grasso, next pitch. On the outside. 1-1. CJD Films here. Is he going to film us? Please don't tell me he's going to film the student sections instead. Oh, never mind. He's just going to film the game. All right, never mind. Not that important. 1-1 though. Edwards showing bunt, which is what I think Jack Keenan was moving in for. 2-1. Grasso likes to call it the plate for Iannacone. Sets. And now fires. Very inside. I believe that got Edwards. Yes, it did. So he'll get on with a hit by pitch. Up next for Conwell-Egan, it will be Laverty. Has not recorded a hit yet this season. He has been on base, though, with 2 walks. Grasso looking Edwards back at first, taking a solid lead. A bunt being shown, fouled back. Bunt being shown again, and this is a nice one to first. Keenan fields it cleanly. High throw to Arespi, and he will be safe at first. 2 runners now on with no outs.
Ryan, just looked like Keenan got a little too comfortable, kind of lofted it in, and just went a little too high for Arespi to field.
Top of the order for Conwell-Egan, and that is what you definitely wanted. No outs. Infield in for St. Joe's Prep. A bump being shown again. This one goes to the backstop. Both runners will advance. And now 2 runners in scoring position with no outs.
Ryan, it feels like it'd be a good time for a mound visit. Just calm everything down and slow down this game. We've seen Egan come out a little fast here and kind of do some stuff that clearly Grasso didn't expect.
And Johnson back up to the plate for Conwell-Egan. He's 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. And it's going to be a predicament now for Chris Grasso. Grasso delivers the next pitch as this one is hit in the infield. Ward backing up on it, makes the catch. Everybody holds at their bases, and that is the start you needed for Chris Grasso. Gets a round of applause from the audience as well.
Nice work there from Grasso. Just jam Johnson on the inside and force the pop-up to Ward.
Freitag now up for Conwell-Egan, also 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Not terrible for Conwell-Egan. Now just 1 out. Something in play would be good. High slider from Grasso, 1-0.
Must have just missed, Ryan. From my view, it looked pretty good.
Unfortunately for Grasso, could not get the call. The sun is starting to creep in a little bit here on us at FDR Park. Next pitch high once again. Freitag holds back, 2-0. And Chris, I think it's definitely very notable to bring up Brady Guzzi on deck for Conwell-Egan. He flew out in his first at-bat, but you anticipate him to make some more contact going forward. Grasso has that one fouled back by Freitag, 2-1.
And that one got you, Ryan. You
jumped.
really pulled back at that.
Yeah, I jumped at that one. That's on me. At the end of the season, I feel like I start to not jump back as much.
Too early?
Yeah.
Too early?
I mean, we're like 8 games in. I should be, well, almost 8 games in. This is the 8th game, but I should be better. Next pitch from Grasso in there for a strike. Great framing from Iannacone, 2-2. Grasso trying to get his 5th strikeout of the game. Up in the count, 2-2. That one in the dirt, full count. Grasso not pleased that Freitag did not swing on that one. He gets most batters to swing on that slider, though.
Yeah, Ryan, and Grasso definitely wants this one. As you mentioned, Guzzi on deck, one of the best hitters in the PCL, so you really want to get rid of him now.
full infield in for St. Joe's Prep. Anything in play is going to be a play at the plate. Grasso has Freitag to foul. This one back high, fouled. That one goes into the netting of the batter's, what do you call it? The
Pitching cage.
pitching cage, yeah. I don't even know why I blanked on that one. Full count once again from Grasso. High intensity here early in this contest. On the outside, ball 4. Bases loaded for Conwell-Egan with Brady Guzzi coming to the plate as we get a couple of Eagles Eagle and Hawk flying around FDR. That is something you don't see every day. Great shot from Teo. Oh goodness, this is a high-speed chase as there's a mound visit for St. Joe's Prep. Oh my goodness.
You got to wonder if they're cheering for Conwell-Egan, obviously the Catholic Eagles.
That is true.
There's another one.
There's another one flying in. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh my, this is a bird chase at FDR Park. Oh my goodness. I got the student section hype. Let's hope they maybe move away here. I don't really want to see any birds flying down onto the field, especially now here on WSJP. All right, they kind of moved away. Brady Guzzi up to the plate, though, for Conwell-Egan. Let's get back to the game. First pitch in there for a strike. Grasso likes to call for Iannicone. Delivers. Guzzi hits this one in the left. It's very deep. Runner will tag from third. The catch is made, but that will score 1 for Conwell-Egan. It's 2-1.
Ryan, that's Guzzi's 7th RBI on the year. He leads the team in RBIs.
Very notable for Conwell-Egan. First run of the game. Good news for the Hawks, though. There are 2 outs now, and obviously nobody on third base. It would be great for the Hawks if they only gave up 1 run to end the inning, as Lendoux is now up for Conwell-Egan. 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Iannicone looks like he's maybe calling for the pitch to be a bit higher. Maybe he's just blocking the sun. I'm not necessarily sure. Slider on the inside. Grasso seems a bit frustrated out there, kind of jerking his head a bit. Not really liking the call. 1-0 from Grasso. Looking back at second. That pitch goes to the backstop. Runners will advance as Iannicone lost his glove. Grasso, some control issues in this third inning. But now runners are in scoring position for Conwell-Egan.
Ryan, I'm not really sure how that ball didn't hit Landau in the head. I mean, just missed him.
Count 2-0 here for Chris Grasso. Down in the count here early, fighting a lot of adversity in this third inning. Has pitched a lot. Next pitch right down the plate, 2-1. Gets the approval from the crowd. The Hawks trying to get their bats back up, as they did get a base runner on, but scored 2 in the first inning. Conwell-Egan trying to tie this up or possibly take the lead. Next pitch on the outside, 3-1. Conwell-Egan not swinging at much here. They've been very precautious in what they're swinging at, but it could lead to them getting bases loaded with 2 outs. Grasso not liking the call from Iannicone to start, trying to get this one to a full count. Slider in there for a strike. Doesn't matter if it was a check swing or not. Full count.
And Ryan, that's been the pitch all game on both sides. Cuavez has used that low and outside corner to his advantage, and now we see Grasso go to it and get the second strike of the at-bat.
3-2. Grasso has this one lined into left field. It will get down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Play at the plate, not there. Conwell-Egan have taken a 3-2 lead. Unfortunate for St. Joe's Prep, but 2 runners have now scored, and the Hawks going to have to fight from behind. Kalita up for Conwell-Egan. Next pitch in for a strike for Grasso. Grasso not liking the call from Iannico. Likes the second. Looks back at first. Steal attempt to second. Iannico throws it down. Arespi not getting the tag in on time. Successful stolen base for Landau.
That was a pretty close one, Ryan. Iannicone really got to it quickly, and throw down nearly hit Grasso in the head, but nice throw down and just missed.
Kalita walked in his first at-bat. Now with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Looks like Iannico might be calling for that slider we saw him the first time we put the glove high, and we get it. Called for a ball.
Lot
2
of
and 1.
lot of inconsistency on that outside corner from the umpire in general.
Yeah, it's been interesting on that outside corner. Next pitch in the dirt, 3 and 1. Grasso likes the first call from Iannicone. Not trying to get another walk here. Kalita fouls this one back, full count. Grasso had a full count earlier in this game. Not work out to his advantage. As Conwell-Egan have taken a lead here against St. Joe's Prep. Grasso looks back at second. That one high over the head of Kalita. Another walk. Runners on the corners as a pass ball for Landau. Kalita's second walk of the game. McLean now coming to the plate. Mound visit for St. Joe's Prep here. Grasso starting out the game good, but just a couple of walks. So obviously the base hits as well, but a walk here. Some control problems for Grasso here today. A few pitches have gotten away from him.
Yeah, Ryan, and just a little bit, some unlucky calls, some obviously the bunt that ended up being going past, and Keenan's throw went over past Arespi. So just tough outing so far, but we'll see if he can get back into it.
Iannicone coming out as well to the mound visit. Fist bumps to go around as we will get back into it. McLean coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. Still a lot of baseball left to play for St. Joe's Prep as this is the top of the third. Runners on the corners for Conwell-Egan. Chris Grasso trying to get out of this one with just a 1-run deficit in the favor of Conwell-Egan. The Hawks, as I mentioned earlier, are going to have to fight from behind. First pitch to McLean. High, ball 1. As I mentioned, McLean 0 for 1 here today. But Conwell-Egan, while not so great the first time through the order, have done a great job the second time. Throw back to first, not in time. McLean steps back into the batter's box after a quick moment out. Ward still ready for that pickoff attempt. There will be a steal down the second, swing and a miss. Play at the plate now, not in time. Iannicone down, he's injured. And that runner will score. Iannicone, as I said, down. Hope he's okay. We'll take a break on WSJP. We'll be back in a moment. Emilio Iannacone okay and back at the plate for St. Joe's Prep as Conwell-Egan have now taken a 4-2 lead over the Hawks. Pitch fouled back, 1-1.
Neither of us went there, Ryan. We're getting into that late season mood.
Yeah, we are getting in that late season mood. McLean stepping back into the batter's box for Conwell-Egan. Lots going on here. The double steal. Hawks could not get the play at the plate. Next pitch fouled back once again, 1-2. Grasso has had a couple of breaks here in this inning, has pitched a lot in the third. Trying to just get out of this one. It has been a long top half of the inning at FDR Park. The 1-2 from Grasso, low, 2-2.
Just missed there, Ryan. He's looking for that outside corner, as we've seen both Cuavas and Grasso look for this game.
The Hawks, they have fought from behind a couple of times this season. They're no strangers to it. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. Chris Grasso able to get out of the inning, but Conwell-Egan have turned this game upside down. 4 runs in the third. We now go to the bottom of the third. Chris here, I mean, obviously, you know, the Hawks, they were in the driver's seat. They had all the momentum, but just an unfortunate turn of events for the Prep.
Yeah, totally. And I honestly think that with the bases loaded, we were not expecting to see Guzzi get out. And we were probably most worried about him. And obviously, he didn't do much there. Obviously, he gets the RBI. But really, the big hit from Lando and just an unlucky inning between pitches, the steals, and just a tough inning for the Prep. But we'll see how they can come back. Obviously, one of the best offenses in the PCL. You've got great hitters from top to bottom, and Chris Grasso up right now. Let's see if he can really come back after that inning.
Yeah, coming off that tough inning will be great for Grasso to get the momentum up by possibly getting on. He is 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Cuavas back out there to pitch for Conwell-Egan. And Cuavas, I mean, while, you know, not the greatest first inning, gave up 2 runs, had a pretty much shut-down second inning, gave up a hit to Emilio Iannacone, but other than that, Cuavas pretty much did great. And here's the throw down to second. We'll get Chris Grasso up. It's Grasso, Ward, and Keenan, the do up for St. Joe's Prep. As I mentioned, Grasso 0 for 1 in his first at-bat. Trying to change that here. We've seen Grasso pick it up in the offensive department in the last couple of games. We'll see how he fares here as the Hawks, as I mentioned, having to fight from behind, getting a lot of encouragement from St. Joseph's Prep side. First pitch from Cuavas incoming. Jump to the right from Kalita. It's behind the plate. Grasso fouls that one back. And we said it in the second inning, Chris, the Hawks, and the first inning, that being, they're making contact with almost everything. But some have just not been able to get into play.
Yeah, totally. Only 2 strikeouts here on the day, and the Hawks really just, like you said, lots of foul balls, lots of good contact, and kind of just waiting for that break for that perfect contact to get in the field and get some hits on Cuavas.
Cuavas giving Grasso a taste of his own medicine with that slider. Pitches it again and gets Grasso down on strikes. 3rd strikeout of the day for St. Joe's Prep.
Ryan, Cuavas went back to that slider, and really a nice pitch there to get Grasso.
Will Ward at the plate for the Hawks. 1 for 1 today with a base hit. Cuavas sets fires to Ward as he hits this one high, but not so deep into right center field. Guzzi makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Jack Keenan up for St. Joe's Prep. He's 0 for 1 today. The Hawks, they have 4 hits on the day and 12 total plate appearances. First pitch to Keenan, he fouls it back. And it just goes right back to my point of contact being made, but the Hawks have flown out a multitude of times here today. Just cannot get something into the gap Quavez right back to it. High ball to Jack Keenan.
Like you said, with the contact, it's just a little early on some, a little late, just like that one right there, and just really waiting for this break for the prep.
Off speed, gets the call on the outside. A lot of displeasure from the Hawks side on those calls on the outside corner. Keenan has this one low. Conwell-Egan, they thought it was a strike. They were ready to run back into the dugout and get their hot bats back at it. But they'll have to wait at least one more pitch as it's 2-2 to Jack Keenan. As Keenan hits this one directly to Quavez. Overhand throw to first, makes the play, and it will end the inning. Quavez not letting up anything against St. Joe's Prep as we go to the 4th inning. And we'll take a short break on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Fourth inning action coming here on WSJP. Chris Grasso out for his 4th inning of work. The Hawks not able to do anything in the last couple of innings in terms of runs scored. Had 2 in their first inning. Conwell-Egan added 4 runs to the game in the 3rd. They come back with hot bats on the 4th, and it was a quick inning for the Hawks last go-around. Waldron up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. And he swings through that one low, 1-1.
Ryan, it must be mentioned, both of us went to Waldron, and you were a star baseball player there, weren't you?
Yeah, totally. 100%. Star baseball player. Definitely an understatement. Waldron swings on that one again, 1-2, blows it right by him. Chris, you have a baseball career at Waldron? I don't really remember.
No, I do not.
All right, it's okay. D1 squash, though. It's all right. No worries. Grasso trying to get his 5th strikeout. That one low to the backstop. I apologize. It would be his 6th strikeout if he gets this one. 2-2, though. Grasso steps back onto the mound. 2-2 is pitched. His pitch is low to start. Slider, got him looking. Chris Grasso, 6 on the day, and he gets a good start to the 4th inning.
Yeah, Ryan, he goes back to the slider, and it's been working pretty well today, and we see it again for his 6th strikeout, like you said.
Edwards up to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the last inning. Or his last at-bat, I apologize. I practically think it was the last inning. Keenan playing in. This one hit high and deep into center field. Over the head of George Van Deen. Is able to field it pretty much immediately. And makes the throw in. And a throw to second. They get Edwards out. That is the break you needed if you're St. Joe's Prep. And now there are 2 outs in the inning.
Ryan, it looked like Edwards was a little unsure where the ball was. He took a huge turn around second and then noticed that the ball was already back in the infield and got thrown out at second.
Laverty up for Conwell-Egan. He takes the first pitch for a strike. 1 for 1. He bunted and got on in his last at-bat. Jack Keenan now playing back, not really scared of a bunt. Iannico jumps a bit to his left as this one is lined foul. 0-2 for Grasso. The Hawks trying to get back into it. You can kind of feel the energy in the air. Feels like the fans are getting back into their rhythm for the Hawks. 0-2 for Grasso, trying to end the inning. Get the bats of the Hawks back up to the plate. And he will. Got Laverty swinging in the dirt. And that ends the top half of the 4th inning. Chris, we were talking so much about, the 3rd inning, and it wasn't that great. They let up the runs, but now the Hawks quickly going back to the plate, and this is where you feel like the momentum has got to change.
Yeah, Ryan, totally. And we were questioning to each other during the break before the inning who would come in. Would Chris Grasso go another inning? But after an inning like that, I don't think you can pull him. I mean, we just seen great stuff from him, and I think the crowd really got into it at the end. Obviously, off of that throw to second, that was pretty big as well.
Yeah, definitely getting that out there, preventing another base runner giving up. Obviously, that will count as a double, as it got Edwards on. I apologize there. But it'll be Quavez coming back out onto the mound for Conwell-Egan, and he's done such a great job here today. We'll see how long he goes.
Yeah, Ryan, and obviously we kind of questioned him after that first inning. A little bit of control problems, a really high pitch count. People are prep players making great contact off of him, but he's really gotten the job done. I mean, you can't really complain if you're a manager and your starting pitcher is giving up 2 runs to one of the best offenses in the league.
Throw down to second, as that will bring John Sittler up to the plate. He's 1 for 1 today with a base hit. He's trying to replicate that, get the Hawks going here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Sittler batting in that 6-hole slot, trying to be the man to will the Hawks back into this game. The dugout starting to get some life back into it for St. Joe's Prep, but Quavez trying to shut that down as he delivers a first pitch for a strike. Right back at it for Quavez. He's been very quick to pitch today as Sittler cuts through that one. 0-2.
Ryan, that outside fastball has really been his thing today, and we see him go back to it on these first 2 pitches, and it's worked.
I feel like the Hawks have to swing at it, though, because of the strike calls there, even when they're not swinging. That one in the dirt, though, 1-2.
Yeah, I totally have to agree. I mean, we've seen prep players, prep fans, me and you as well, kind of unhappy with some of these outside calls. It feels like it hasn't gone both ways.
Quavez likes the immediate call behind the plate. But Sittler hits this one to short. Quick play to first made for the out. And once again, you don't want to sound like a broken record, but there's been contact from the Prep. There's no doubt about it, but it just cannot seem to get runners on ever since that first inning.
Yeah, Ryan, it feels like just every hit is going right into the hands of an Egan player, and Prep really looking for that extra base hit, I think. I mean, 4 singles on the day. You're looking for a little more to start a rally.
Matthews takes that one inside, has to jump out of the batter's box. Matthews 0 for 1 today. You mentioned those 4 base hits. The Hawks trying to get more to rally back into it. Next pitch in the dirt, 2-0. Quavez, even though he pitched so much in the first inning, has seemed to rally back and turn this game upside down. Has only let up 1 base runner since then. Pitch high once again, 3-0. Matthews trying to be that first base runner. And it would hopefully rally the Hawks back into this one with Alex Orespi on deck for St. Joe's Prep. 3-0 from Chavez. Puts it high, ball 4. Take your base, Danny Matthews. The Hawks with their first base runner, or their second base runner, I apologize, since the first inning. Alex Orespi taking the plate for the Hawks.
And Ryan, this is kind of the perfect guy to get things going. Obviously, we mentioned earlier, Orespi, one of the team leaders in hits, and you know, you want someone to start a rally at the bottom and carry it out to the top of the lineup, so hopefully this is our guy.
The Hawks going to have to wait a bit for that top of the lineup. And Orespi showing bunt. Conwell-Egan trying to adjust. Pitch outside, 1-0. George Van Deen on the deck for St. Joe's Prep. Iannacone in the hole. Iannacone taking precaution, though. Has his catcher stuff on. But if Alex Orespi can possibly get on base here, you could definitely see that change. Chavez looking back at Matthews. Orespi fouls this one off. Orespi circling around the boxes at Richie Ashburn Field. Conwell-Egan not playing too far inside. Looks like it's just Johnson playing on the grass. Chavez steps off the mound. Doesn't look like he wanted to throw it back to first, but you might see an opportunity that Matthews could have taken for a possible stolen base. 1-1 to Orespi. Chavez will throw back to first this go around. Ball goes out of the hands of Johnson at first. I apologize. I believe I said that he was at third base. He is not at third base. I don't know what I was talking about, but nonetheless. Still 1-1 to Orespi. Matthews stealing this time as he hits it to second. Fielded cleanly. Play over to first made for the second out of the inning, but it does advance Danny Matthews over to second with George Van Deen coming up. There's 2 outs in the inning.
And Ryan, it's a good thing he went, because if not, that would have been a great opportunity for Conwell-Egan to get that double play and get out of this inning.
Yeah, lucky for Danny Matthews. Shows the expertise of Coach Muth and his coaching staff for St. Joe's Prep. George Van Deen up for the Hawks in that 9-hole slot. Top of the order, specifically Iannacone. And Conwell-Egan's coach, he is cursing at the umpire currently. And I don't know, they're yelling at something about. Yelling something. I don't know what they're yelling about. Orespi on. I'm sorry, Matthews on second. I don't know what the issue is, but the Hawks getting some love from the crowd. Maybe they can rally.
Yeah, Ryan, a little bit of confusion around here. Even head coach Bobby Muth not really sure what's going on, but like you said, crowd's really getting into it now.
See if that can maybe ride some momentum here for Van Deen as he fouls this one back, 0-1. 2 outs in the inning, as I mentioned. Runner in scoring position for St. Joe's Prep. The ground ball from Alex Orespi allowed Danny Matthews to advance to second base, who is taking a big lead. Van Deen lines this one into right field, and it will get there for a base hit. Matthews will score. Van Deen, he is rounding second, going to third. He will get in standing. St. Joe's Prep, they're back in it.
Yeah, Ryan, great piece of hitting there, and we see the crowd really getting into it, really excited, and just way to hug the foul line on right field and round the bases. Van Deen pretty quick. We've seen him with the inside the park home run earlier this year, so great piece of hitting, and still another runner in scoring position. The Prep only down 1 here with the top of the lineup coming up.
That brings Emilio Iannacone to the plate. As you mentioned, Chris, the top of the lineup, the Hawks with an opportunity to tie here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Iannacone smiling as he steps up to the plate. He has a base hit here today, trying to replicate that in this at-bat. His third plate appearance today. Iannicone takes the first pitch on the outside, shaking his head as he leaves the batter's box. Next pitch to Iannicone. He swings, fouls it back out of play. That one a bit inside. We've seen the Hawks swing at pitches that have been on the outside here today, so a bit of a change-up for Iannicone, but he makes contact, which is what you want to see, as he quickly steps back into the batter's box for the third pitch of this at-bat. Veza on deck for the Hawks if he can get up in this inning. Iannicone takes on the outside. Van Dien was about halfway down the line. We know how quick Van Dien is. Mentioned it a multitude of times. Led the PCL in stolen bases last season. Has not gotten as many this year. But, I mean, he had a triple on that one, last one. Knows how fast he is. Iannicone fouls it off again. It's 2-2.
Back to the long at-bats here for prep batters against Cuevas. But really just want to stay in these at-bats and hopefully find that pitch that you're looking to hit.
Iannicone, he's been adamant to get back into the box, and he quickly calls timeout. Maybe trying to get Cuevas off of his groove. And he steps back into the batter's box once again really quickly. 2-2 to Iannicone. Cuevas sets, fires, delivers. Puts it in, strike three. Got him looking on the inside corner. Iannicone shaking his head as he goes to the dugout. But a sign of life for St. Joe's Prep as we go to the fifth inning. And we'll take a break on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Top of the order for Conwell-Egan as we are in the later stages of this game. 2 more to go at FDR Park in South Philly. Johnson up to the plate for Conwell-Egan. He's 0 for 2 today, but he looks to get Conwell-Egan back on the scoreboard. The Hawks getting it within 1 in the last inning. First pitch to him as Grasso blows it by him.
Big cut there from Johnson, and Grasso goes back to the fastball, which is, it's worked pretty well, especially just the heat down the middle.
Next pitch from Grasso, high, ball 1. Good framing from Iannicone. One from Grasso. Slider gets it in there for a strike. Grasso puts it inside, 2-2.
Ryan, I don't know about that one. I mean, it looked the same as the prior pitch, but
Yeah, from that last inning, I believe. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
2-2 from Grasso. Fouled out of play. Well, it doesn't hit anyone walking. Charlie Meekins, freshman pitcher, going out there to get it. Grasso repeats the 2-2 and puts Johnson down on strikes. Eighth strikeout of the day for Chris Grasso as Freitag will come to the plate for Conwell-Egan. First pitch on the outside, called for a ball. Iannico not liking it at all. Coach Muth, I don't think he was taking too well to that call either. Freitag makes contact on it, hits it into right field. It's going to be a run for Vezza, but it goes foul. That one, it's scary there, Chris. I mean, that one almost looked like it was going to get down.
Yeah, Ryan, but Vezza did a great job to track it down. Lost his hat in the process. Got to show off that bleach blonde hair that we get to see all these players with.
Yeah, all of them have almost all of them, I think, have the blonde hair. Or the bleach, I don't know what they call it. Is it the blonde or the bleach? I mean, bleach, okay. I'm not in with the culture, I'm sorry.
Maybe we'll have to see you with it someday.
Yeah, that's all right. Grasso puts Freitag down. Strike three. Two straight. Oh, never mind. I thought it was strike three. I'm so sorry. That was a terrible miss by me. 1-2 from Grasso. Puts it inside. 2-2. I once again apologize for that. I think I might have got people excited for a second. That was historically bad. It's all right. We're just going to forget that one. 2-2 from Grasso. Puts it on the outside. Full count. As I mentioned, full count from Grasso. Fouled back again. Freitag is staying alive. Give him credit. I thought he struck out.
Long at bat here for Freitag, Ryan, and on to his 7th pitch here, I believe.
I believe you are correct on that one. Full count. Grasso waving off Iannico once. Maybe a slider coming in. Iannico jumps to his right. It is, and it's inside, ball 4.
Really hard fought at bat there, Ryan. Freitag done a great job to stay in it. Obviously, you thought he was out of there, but
I did.
just really hard fought. Some tough calls. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of consistency here. It's been really tough for both ways, I would say, but especially Grasso definitely feels he's gotten some unlucky calls on both corners.
Coach Muth backing up the outfield as Brady Guzzi is at the plate for Conwell-Egan. Grasso, long look back to first. First pitch to Guzzi on the outside, 1-0. Guzzi 0 for 2 today. Looking to get Conwell-Egan another run, 1 out in the inning. Grasso steps off. Freitag goes back to first. Audience patiently awaiting Grasso's next pitch. Guzzi fouls this one off. Umpire and Guzzi having a conversation here. Guzzi does not seem happy about something. Kind of just, I don't know really what the problem is. Conwell-Egan have seemed to have a couple of problems today with St. Joe's Prep and something. I can't really put my finger on it. 1-1 from Grasso. Throw back to first. Gonna be a close one, and he's safe.
Really got the crowd into it on that one. All of us, I think, thought that Ward laid down the tag in time. A really close play there.
Yeah, I even raised my voice. I thought I was ready to call it out there, but Freitag in there safely. Back to the pitch. Guzzi showing bunt. That's something you don't see every day. Not fouled off. I'm not sure if it was a strike or a ball. I think it was a ball as there's a stolen base. That one, very interesting. I think it just dropped out of the glove of Iannacone.
Looked like a ball in the dirt, and Iannacone obviously got hit on the double steal where Arespi threw it back to him, and I think he just felt it a little in his leg when he went down to pick up that ball right there.
Yeah, that was something there. Not really sure what happened, but nonetheless, the runner on second. 2-1 to Guzzi as he hits this one foul. Guzzi takes off his helmet. Has to move his hair back just a bit. Gotta get the hair right for your at-bat, though.
Of course, and we'd love to see him with the bleach blonde as well, but
Yeah. You know, I think everybody would look great with bleach blonde hair. I think everybody needs bleach blonde hair.
just try it once,
Yeah, I mean, you only live once, I guess, right?
something like that.
Iannacone jumps to his right. 2-2. Grasso looks back at second. Grasso hits Guzzi. And he will get on with a hit-by-pitch. Second hit-by-pitch today for Grasso. 2 runners on with 1 out.
Ryan, the matchup between Grasso and Guzzi was really hyped up on both ends, obviously, and Grasso's done a pretty good job to get rid of Guzzi. Obviously, got 2 outs on him on the fly out, and then also the hit by pitch there, better than a hit, but not what you're looking for sure.
Landau now up for Conwell-Egan. Landau, I apologize. Two runners on now. Grasso, fastball right down the plate for a strike. Likes the call from Iannacone at the plate. Looks back primarily at second. This one hit high, not deep at all. Running in on it is Vezza, and he makes the catch. Everybody holds. 2 outs now in the inning. That's where you want to be if you're St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah, Ryan, and this is a huge at-bat. It would be great to see Grasso get out of the inning unharmed. Obviously, we've had some tough calls and the hit by pitch there, the steal, but this would be huge for him to finish off the 5th inning.
Kalita up for Conwell-Egan. Hits the first pitch foul down the first base line. Good start for Grasso, 0-1. Contact being made by Conwell-Egan. We've seen that happen to the Prep, where they've made contact, just not have been able to get on base sometimes. Obviously, not the case here for Egan, as they have 2 runners on. 2 outs in the inning. Grasso immediately likes the call from Iannacone. Looks back at second and delivers. Grasso gets that one to be fouled off. Iannacone, I think, was waiting for that call. He didn't really know what it was. It's 0-2.
Grasso went back to the slider there, and as we've said, Ryan, it's really worked well for him today, and he'll probably go back to it again. It's been really messing with these Conwell-Egan batters.
Grasso once again likes to call from Iannacone. Fastball blew it by him. Strike 3. Chris Grasso gets out of the inning. No runs given up. It's still 4-3. Conwell-Egan with the Hawks bats coming back up. Patty Vezza to lead off for St. Joe's Prep. And now you want the Prep to start to chip away with Chris Grasso shutting down. Chris, now it feels like you need this to be the time.
Yeah, definitely. It's, we've seen the fans really getting into it here. It feels like a new life after that last inning for the Prep, and we'll hope to see some offense here. And it's still a close game. It's anyone's game for sure.
Sal Ruda on the mound for Conwell-Egan. Has one appearance this season where he pitched 4 innings. Has not given up a run yet this season, and he now tries to relieve and shut down St. Joe's Prep for the final 2 innings of work that they will be batting.
And Ryan, I think you got to give credit to Cuevas. I thought he had a pretty good outing. We saw a little bit of a rocky start in the first, giving up two runs as well as four hits, I believe. But the Prep really, Cuevas really turned it around and pitched well. Obviously, that 4th inning was a little tough for him, but the 2 innings in between were nearly perfect.
Yeah, Conwell-Egan have done great today. Cuevas, obviously, that first inning probably was the inning that made the coaching staff of Conwell-Egan decide to take him out, as that really ramped up his pitching total today. But now Sal Ruda will try to relieve him and get him the win here today at FDR Park. The game being played next to us, Roman and Lansdale. I don't know the score of that game, but we mentioned earlier 2 evenly matched teams, and us and Roman sharing the fields here today. Well, they're sharing, not I say us, like I'm on the team, but WSJP and Roman, they're sharing the field today. Throw down to second was completed, and it will bring up Pat Veza for St. Joe's Prep. Veza 1 for 2 today with a base hit. Flew out in his last at-bat. And we'll see what Sal Ruda brings to the table for Conwell-Egan as he tries to go 1, 2, 3, but he's going up against 2, 3, and 4 for St. Joe's Prep. First pitch in there for a strike on the outside corner. Second pitch to Veza, he fouls it off. Quick 0-2.
Again, Ryan, really good contact there. I mean, that ball all the way out into the woods to the left of us, but we just need these Prep bats to get a little more on these and better timing, and we'll see some extra base hits, I believe.
Quick 0-2 from Ruda. Pitches it way inside to Veza, almost clipped him on the elbow, but Veza stays at the batter's box, 1-2. Veza softly hits this one into left field, and the play will be made for the first out of the inning. Once again, contact, but just can't get on base.
Yeah, Ryan, it looked like he checked his swing a little bit there. He didn't swing all the way through it, and it dropped, probably hoping it would drop a little closer to the infield, and just enough on it that Egan was able to get the out.
Chris Grasso up for the Hawks. He's been pitching today. We'll see if he can possibly go one more. He's gone through 5, giving up 4 earned runs. He's 0 for 2 today at the plate. As he saw that first one and swung on it, fouls it back. Or fouls it to the left, I apologize. It's been a lot of balls fouled back here today. I don't know how they get them from the under the bridge. I mean, that's a long run. Nonetheless, 0-1 to Grasso. He swings through that one right down the plate, 0-2.
Grasso's seeing good pitches that he likes here. He's just struggling to get on to the end of one.
0-2 to Grasso. Takes it high, 1-2. That one does not hit Grasso. It actually hit off of the turf before it got to him. I thought it hit him originally, but it was way behind him, 2-2. As I mentioned, 2-2 to Grasso. 0 for 2 today. As he fouls this one back, he stays alive. Count remains 2-2. Ruda has come into the game, is trying to relieve Conwell-Egan, and if they are able to get this one, I can't see how you would not put them first in PCL power rankings. Grasso this time gets hit by the pitch, and he gets on base for the first time today.
Yeah, Ryan, looks like Rudda just lost his control there at the end of the at-bat. Obviously, the one that went behind Grasso that looked like it hit him at first, and then that one too.
Will Ward up for the Hawks. He's 1 for 2 today with a base hit. The Hawks only have one hit that has not resulted in just one base. George Van Deen hit a triple last inning. Other than that, it has just been singles today for St. Joe's Prep. 5 hits total today. First pitch on the outside, 1-0. Grasso, a quarter of a way down the base path. Maybe he is looking to steal.
Looked a bit like a attempt at catching him stealing, you know, pitch out and get Grasso, who's very fast on the base path.
Next pitch clips Ward on the hand, and he will get on base with a hit by pitch. The Hawks generating base runners through hit by pitches as Jack Keenan now comes up for the Hawks. An unlikely way of getting guys on, but it seems like it's working.
Yeah, Ryan, I mean, that's the 4th one of the game. You don't see hit by pitches. You see them, but you don't see them for a game, and who knows, we might see more.
Yeah, both teams exchanging hit by pitches today, 2 and 2. As the Hawks now have 2 runners on with 1 out. Jack Keenan, 0 for 2 today, takes the first pitch for a strike on the inside.
Another call, Ryan, that Prep fans are not happy about. It looked low, it looked inside. Don't know what more could have happened to it.
The umpire's not too happy when guys try to leave the batter's box. Keenan showing bunt. Takes it high, ball 1. Kalita wanted the infield umpire to see if he went, that being Keenan, but he did not, is the call. 1-1 to Keenan. Johnny Sittler on deck for the Hawks. And they can possibly tie this one up here if Keenan can maybe knock one into the gap. He's showing bunt again. He does go on. He foul tipped it. It's 1-2. Once again, the approval from the Hawks side being shown. Bit of an interesting decision to maybe bunt here with 1 out in the inning. Keenan will not show it this time. Takes it on the outside, 2-2.
Yeah, Ryan, a little surprised to see Keenan showing bunt on those first 2 pitches. Obviously one of the best hitters for this Prep team this year, and he's really been a star. He's done everything that they've asked from him, and a little surprised to see him show bunt, but we'll see if he can get the hit now.
He hits it to first. Play made at second. Throw over to first, not in time. So Keenan gets on with the fielder's choice. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for John Sittler. Sittler has a base hit here today. Also knocked in a run for St. Joe's Prep, and he tries to do it again, this time against Sal Ruda. Signs being delivered from Coach Muth and the coaching staff, so we'll see maybe a possible steal from Jack Keenan. Timeout called by Coach Muth, maybe a complimentary runner. I think he is going to bring in one. Franny Seaman will be that complimentary runner for Jack Keenan.
Yeah, Ryan, you mentioned the possible steal, and we've seen it on both sides today, both successful double steals where we've seen that runner on first go, and then right away the runner on third running home.
I mean, Chris, you have to think if Franny Seaman steals here, they're going to hold it at the plate. Sittler takes the first pitch for a strike, and he nods his head at that one, knowing that he took it.
Yeah, I would agree with what you said, though. I mean, like what I said, it's worked on both ends, so you would think that now it's better to just give up that runner at second than risk that run, especially in a 4-3 ball game.
Sittler takes it inside, 1-1. Ruda has runners on the corners. Franny Seaman at second, or first, I apologize, Grasso at first, and there is the pitch called for a strike, but Seaman steals a base. 1-2. 1-2 to Sittler, 2 runners on. That one a bit inside to Sittler, not really liking the call. Stepped out of the batter's box, dumbfounded. But Sittler now with runners in scoring position. The Hawks trying to get something in play. 1-2 to Sittler. And he fouls this one out of play. Onto the netting of the batting cages as well. So Sittler staying alive. Contact being made, but it feels like contact is not going to be enough in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Hawks obviously with 2 more opportunities after this one to score, but Conwell-Egan, they've been getting base runners on. No reason why they can't score as well. Sittler takes it inside, 2-2.
Really no consistency here from the umpire. That pitch was called a strike a couple pitches earlier, so I think Ruda probably wanted that one, and Prep fans definitely happy that they don't end up on the wrong side of the call.
2-2 to Sittler. He swings through that one, strike 3. The Hawks not able to score with 2 runners on. We go to the top of the 6th and a break on WSJP. We'll be back in a few moments. Two more innings here at FDR Park in South Philly. Conwell-Egan with a 4-3 lead over St. Joe's Prep. The Hawks had 2 runners on in the last inning, but were not able to get any in. Danny Matthews stepping up for the Hawks to relieve Chris Grasso. Matthews has 3 appearances this season with a 1.35 ERA. First pitch low, ball 1. 2 runs given up by Matthews, 6 hits, and 10.1 innings pitched. First pitch was a ball from Matthews. Next one, fouled off. McLean up at the plate for Conwell-Egan. Matthews sets, fires, delivers. Puts it on the outside. Ball 2. Iannacone not liking the call. Looking back at Coach Muth.
Fastball just missed there, Ryan.
It just missed. Here it is. 2-1. Fouled back. 2-2. Matthews quickly back to the mound as he delivers. As this one is hit to Veza, and he makes the catch for the out. Waldron up for Conwell-Egan. Nice play from Pat Veza. I almost thought that one got into the gap.
Yeah, Ryan. It looked like it was going to drop, but Veza moving out there nonchalantly, and nice catch.
Ball low in the dirt, 1-0. Danny Matthews, as I mentioned, has pitched a few times for the Prep this season. Started against the Haverford School in his first game. Pitched 6 scoreless innings as this one's fouled off.
Ryan, that Haverford game, the only loss for the Prep so far this year, and first game of the season just trying to get the bats ready and couldn't get much out of the offense.
Off speed, beautiful pitch from Danny Matthews, 1-2. Matthews takes a deep breath on the mound, looking to get his first strikeout of the game and the second out of the 6th inning. Outside ball 2. Matthews has been so quick to get back to the mound, and he is eager to deliver his next pitch, whether it's a ball or a strike. 2-2 from Matthews. Puts it in, strike 3. Waldron goes down on strikes. He leaves the plate a little annoyed by the call, but Danny Matthews gets his first strikeout today.
Ryan, that's a huge strikeout, and this would be a big inning for the Prep to capitalize after some really nice pitching from Matthews.
Edwards up for Conwell-Egan. Off speed, and it drops right into the strike zone. First strike for Danny Matthews. Right back at it, don't even get a time to talk. As this one is hit and drops for a base hit. Edwards on with his second hit of the game. As it'll bring up Laverty, the 9-hole hitter for Conwell-Egan. Actually, I apologize. Is not Laverty. It is a pinch hitter currently. TJ Hicks in for Conwell-Egan. Looks like Coach Muth is making sure that was reported. But Hicks this season, 8 plate appearances for him, 1 hit on the year. Comes up now with 2 outs, throw back to first. Not in time. Iannico was ready to go back to the dugout. He thought it was in there. But unfortunately for him and the St. Joseph's Prep team, it was not to be the case. Matthews delivers, puts it low, 1-0. Throw back to first again. Ward not able to make the tag. The throwback was a bit low. Iannico once again thought the inning was over. Just a bit higher from Danny Matthews, and that probably would have ended it. Next pitch gets swinging. One and one for Matthews. Solid lead off first for Edwards. Matthews has tried to pick him off a couple of times. Looks back again, and he will deliver the throw. Ward not going to attempt it that go-around. Still 1-1.
Ryan, by now you got to think Edwards knows they're on to him, and he's staying a lot tighter to the bag.
Yeah, not the biggest lead in the world for Edwards. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike. 1-2. Danny Matthews, 1 away from getting the Hawks back up to the plate. And he delivers. And puts it low. Edwards stays at first. Iannico can't find it. He eventually does. No steal attempt for Edwards. It's 2-2. Matthews with 1 runner on. Trying to shut down this inning. Looks back Edwards at first. As Hicks fouls it softly. down the third baseline.
Hicks really just staying alive there. Barely got to that one.
Timeout called by the umpire. I believe Hicks was the one to step out. I couldn't necessarily tell. 2-2. Hicks not going to let Matthews take his time. And he gets him swinging. Strike three, Matthews, hype at the mound as we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Once again, the Hawks not allowing Conwell-Egan to score. It's still 4-3, going to the bottom of the sixth. And Chris, it feels like we've just stayed here, 4-3. Nobody letting up in the last couple of innings.
Yeah, a real deadlock now between the teams. Really great pitching, and I think the Prep really has a good chance here now. The fans really getting into it. We're seeing student section getting more into it. Parents, coaches, everyone here just excited, hoping that the Prep can really take advantage of what's been a really good pitching performance following that third inning.
After the short break on WSJP, we'll get the throwdown. Sal Ruda back out for his second inning of work. Danny Matthews coming out to the plate for St. Joe's Prep has a lot of momentum after the inning he just pitched, relieving Chris Grasso. Here we go. Danny Matthews just trying to get this deadlock, as you mentioned, Chris, out of a lock and maybe open up this game for the Hawks with a possible base hit to get things started. Here we go. First pitch, way inside, ball one. Want to know from Matthews, or to Matthews, I apologize. 2-0 on the outside. Matthews fouls it back, 2-1. Ruda gave up some base runners earlier in his first inning of work, trying to shut down the Hawks. 2-1 to Matthews. The Prep with 6 outs left in this game. This one way inside, almost clipped Matthews. It's 3-1.
Like you said, Ryan, nearly hit him, and that would have been the 5th hit by pitch of the game, 3rd for the Prep.
Here we go, 3-1. Danny Matthews trying to be a leadoff. That one in there for a strike. It's a full count. Matthews 0 for 1 today, reached on a walk as well. And he will get his second walk of the game. The Hawks get a leadoff.
Ryan, I'm really happy he got that one because that second strike call was way outside, especially from our view.
Alex Orespi stepping up for the Hawks. 0 for 2 today. But the Prep trying to get some momentum. They have a little bit after the walk from Danny Matthews. Here we go. This is a packed house here today at FDR Park. Just about everybody's here. Pitch on the outside. Matthews holds it first. 1-0 to Alex Orespi.
Great work there from Kalita to field that cleanly without letting Matthews advance to second.
Matthews hopping around at first. Thought an possible steal opportunity could be coming as Orespi takes the first pitch. Takes his first strike. Orespi saw it. Ruda looking back. Matthews twice on first. This pitch low. Good framing, but still called for a ball. Two and one to Alex Orespi. Orespi takes it low again. It's 3-1. Hawks looking for their second walk opportunity of this inning, and it would really help to get a runner, two runners on with no outs. We'll see if that happens. 3-1 to Orespi, and he gets hit in the back. Two runners on. Danny Matthews in scoring position. Alex Orespi this season. I mean, I don't know what it is with him and getting hit by a pitch. He's gotten hit by a pitch 5 times this year now. I don't know what the case is, as that will do it for Ruda here. His last at-bat of this game, and obviously Conwell-Egan not wanting this one to get out of hand. We'll see who is playing here. There's definitely some personnel changes as we speak.
No matter who ends up pitching, great opportunity here for the Prep. Obviously, George Van Deen has been a really good hitter for the Prep this year. Had that triple earlier on that scored 2. And this is just a great opportunity to hopefully get back into this game. And unless there's a triple play, we will see the top of the lineup hitting as well.
You got to bring all possibilities into consideration. And I believe that is Johnson who will be pitching, who has been the leadoff here today. And yes, it is. That is number 9, Keegan Johnson. So we'll get a break here on WSJP for the pitching change. We'll be right back. George Van Deen up for St. Joe's Prep. New pitcher for Conwell-Egan. Keegan Johnson, 1 appearance this season, just 1 inning pitched. Did not give up a run in that inning, but now he looks to hold the Prep down. Infield a bit in for Conwell-Egan, but George Van Deen, 1 for 2 today with a triple, and something like that would give the Prep the lead. Johnson steps off the mound to start. Matthews taking a big lead at second. Not being held on, but the infield obviously going back to the base. And they do it here, but no throw back. Pitch low. Orespi holds at first. Matthews at second. That one almost went to the backstop. Beautiful stop, though, from Kalita behind the plate.
Matthews with the huge lead. I'm honestly surprised that Johnson didn't try to get him with the pickoff attempt, especially with him being nearly halfway down the line.
And Van Deen was showing bunt. Throw back. This is going to be close. Matthews safe, and he will definitely be very precautious moving forward. Matthews because I don't think he's taken. Never mind, he's kind of going out. Still very big lead. Throw back to second again, and they got him that time.
So I was a little surprised, Ryan, to see him take such a big lead again and not be a little hesitant after that first pickoff attempt, which I thought was really close. And then that second one, not close at all. Great pickoff from Johnson to get the out.
And it looks like we'll get a substitution. And that will do it for Johnson. I think Brady Guzzi is coming in. They bring him in from center field. Let's see here. That was it for Johnson. Interesting. I mean, he really didn't even pitch all that much.
2 pickoff attempts and 1 pitch thrown.
I mean, that is bizarre.
Wouldn't be allowed to do that in the majors.
I mean, I think it's Brady Guzzi. Wow. It's bizarre is an understatement. But Conwell-Egan bringing out their Virginia commit. And I called him the boogeyman to start this broadcast. And, I mean, there's a reason for it. 3 appearances, no runs, 16 innings pitched. His opponent batting average is .019, 34 strikeouts, a no-hitter against Newman Goretti just over a week ago. Arguably the best player in the PCL.
Yeah, Ryan, and this is what we all anticipated. We thought he'd be starting, but here he is now, and you got to think that if you're not starting a guy and you bring him in late on and you know he's one of your best players, this has got to be such a high-stakes opportunity and a huge moment for Conwell-Egan.
So it still will be George Van Deen at the plate for St. Joe's Prep after the pickoff attempt. So obviously no runner in scoring position now for St. Joe's Prep. And we'll see how long Guzzi goes for, as I'm sure maybe they did plan for this. I'm not really sure. Maybe they planned for him to close. I mean, there's a lot of predicaments you probably could have thought. But this is the one we're in, and George Van Deen and Emilio Iannicone will be the next 2 batters to face that, unless it's a double play. Got to bring all possibilities into consideration. Hopefully that is not the case, though, for St. Joe's Prep. About an inning and a half left here. Guzzi's still warming up for Conwell-Egan. And, you know, he's just said it, Chris. I mentioned it a couple times as we started the game. Everyone expected Brady Guzzi to throw in this game. And, you know, when he went to center field, we thought, all right, I guess that's it. He's not throwing today. But obviously that is not the case. And, you know, being one of the best players in the state of Pennsylvania, you know that he is ready at all times. Final pitch thrown for the warm-up. Umpire and Conwell-Egan coaching staff talking it out. As George Van Deen will come up to the plate with a 1-0 count, so he's got that going for him.
Not much more, though, because, I mean, I think no matter how much you talk about Brady Guzzi, it's not enough to talk about how good of a player he is. I mean, we don't see players like this that often.
No doubt about it. Guzzi will now get into his arsenal on the mound for Conwell-Egan. Coach Muse talking things out with the home plate umpire. I think it was just about all the substitutions being made. I mean, the fielding has been moved around many times for Conwell-Egan today. Obviously with Johnson coming in the pitch, and now Brady Guzzi. Just so much happening here, but I guess we're here for it. Freitag moves out to center field for Conwell-Egan, and now we're finally back to the baseball game. 1-0. I think the umpire definitely needed to relay that. I don't think anybody remembers. First pitch to Van Deen. That one goes in the dirt. Alex Arespi to second base on the pass ball.
Not the start that Guzzi's going to want, but this is perfect for the Prep, already getting that runner in scoring position.
Now Van Deen going to have to put something in play. You don't expect many of those from Brady Guzzi. I don't think if you're the Prep, you can't anticipate banking off of pass balls. 2-0. That one in the dirt once again. 3-0 to Van Deen. Guzzi already started this at bat 1-0. It's 3-0. You expect something down the plate. And there's always that debate. Do you swing on a 3-0? See if it happens here. Guzzi delivers, puts it down the plate for a strike. Guzzi looks back at Arespi at second. Delivers as Van Deen hits this one into right field for a base hit. Arespi, he will hold at third. Runners on the corners with one out. Throw to third. Arespi slides in safely.
Huge hit there from George Van Deen, and like I said earlier, he has been the offense today with the triple already and now the single, and that could be the difference maker depending on what happens with this top of the lineup from the Prep.
Top of the lineup is here. Emilio Iannicone, 1 for 2 today. Also reached on a walk. And now we will get another mound visit. I mean, there have been so many mound visits today. Well, I don't know if that'll be it for Guzzi. I doubt they take him out, as obviously as the UVA commit, Virginia commit. Yeah, they're definitely not going to be taking him out. But there is a mound visit here. Obviously, a lot to talk about with one out here in the inning with runners on the corners. The Hawks have been in this predicament before. They've scored a few times on it, but they've also not been able to score a few times with runners on the corners. Emilio Iannicone trying to keep the trend going upward for St. Joe's Prep in that category. I mean, Chris, this has got to be the most intense moment of the season thus far.
No doubt, and a huge moment for Brady Guzzi to come into, but you got to think that he's got to be ready for these moments, especially with Conwell-Egan relying on him as a huge pitcher for the team.
Infield in, Van Deen stealing, strike called, but George Van Deen gets a stolen base.
And the Prep was probably hoping for a throw down to second there and look into the double steal, but Conwell-Egan smart enough to not go for that.
Van Deen's 4th stolen base of the year. The 0-1 to Iannicone. He hits this one into center. You have to think Arespi's going to tag, and he will. He will get in safely. St. Joe's Prep have tied this one up. George Van Deen remains on second base. Sacrifice fly for Emilio Iannicone. Gets the RBI. And now it's all up to Pat Vezza for the Prep to possibly take this lead here. Guzzi's first run given up this season. Vezza swings late on that one, 0-1. Not an earned run for Brady Guzzi, but his first run in total given up. 0-1 to Vezza. Fouls it back. 0-2. Guzzi trying to get out of this one without the Prep taking the lead. Quick 0-2 to Vezza. Infield not playing in for Conwell-Egan. Van Deen on second. He's going to steal as Vezza hits this one into left. And the play will be made for the 3rd out of the inning. It was close, but it remains tied at 4 going into the final inning of play. And we'll give the viewers at home a chance to breathe with a break on WSJP. Danny Matthews going back out there. We'll be back in a few moments. Here we go. Final inning of work on WSJP. This is the only place you want to be watching St. Joe's Prep. I don't think there's any other stream for St. Joe's Prep baseball right now, but this is the only PCL game you want to be watching right now, as the Prep and Conwell-Egan are tied at 4. Danny Matthews, second inning of work, and he starts it off great with a strike.
Like you said, one of the biggest games, probably the biggest game of the year for both teams here, two heavyweights of the PCL.
Second pitch goes to the dirt, 1-1. Johnson up, leadoff for Conwell-Egan, so that's probably where you want to be if you are them. As it's 1-1. He's 0 for 3 today, but anything can change here. Off speed, puts it in there, strike 2. Matthews delivers, as this one is hit sharply to Sittler, fields it cleanly, has to make the play over to first, and he does. First out of the inning. You feel your heart drop in that moment for St. Joe's Prep, hoping that that play gets made over to first, and it did. Freitag up for Conwell-Egan. He's 0 for 2. He's also walked today, so he's been on base before, trying to get on again. 1 out in the inning. First pitch, hit into left. That one's deep. And the catch is made for the out. What a play made by... I apologize, I don't even know who's in left field. But what a play made in left field. Oh my goodness.
Matthews tips the cap, and what a play. I mean,
believe it is George Van Deen out there. Kyle Allman looks to be in center. I could barely see it. Yeah, it is George Van Deen. I apologize to George. I didn't realize it moved over to left field. But there are now 2 outs in the inning. Brady Guzzi up for Conwell-Egan. And he fouls this one off. You thought it was in play for a moment, Chris.
and this is just what you want if you're the Prep, to have Brady Guzzi up with nobody on base.
You don't really want Brady Guzzi up at all, though, if you're St. Joe's Prep. But I guess if nobody's on base, it makes it a tad bit better. Danny Matthews delivers the 0-1. In there for a strike. Gutsy to put it right down the plate. But it's 0-2 to Brady Guzzi. Danny Matthews trying to bring the Hawks back up to the plate. Waves off Iannacone once. You have to think he might give him something off speed. Here it is, the 0-2. Puts it in! Strike three called! Got him looking! Danny Matthews goes 1, 2, 3 as the Prep move to the bottom of the 7th.
What an inning for the half inning for the Prep. I mean, a huge play from George Van Deen in the outfield, and two other great at-bats for Matthews to pitch against. And what more can you ask for against star center fielder and pitcher?
Well, now, Chris, as we move into the bottom of the 7th inning, the Hawks, they've somewhat been in this situation before with dealing, with some of these, with these situations when it comes to, last inning and walk-off. The Hawks have been walked off once this season, but they have not walked off a team yet. This is their second game where there's an opportunity for a team to walk off, whether that is the Prep or somebody else. Johnson is out there to pitch for Conwell-Egan.
And you mentioned the last game with the walk-off. Matthews had a huge performance in that game against Haverford. 6 really good innings, and then just an unlucky way to end the game in that first game of the season. But since then, the Prep, 6 wins in a row, including some huge wins against Roman and Lansdale. So you gotta love the position you're in right now if you're the Prep. Obviously, you've got the middle part of your order coming up, and it's just a great opportunity to get that walk-off.
Oh, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Johnson was on the mound before for Conwell-Egan. Like, I think it's what Coach Muth is talking about with the umpire. I'm not sure if there's a PIAA rule that I haven't read, but I'm not sure if you can pitch the same pitcher twice in a game and taking him out.
Like you said, I mean, Johnson was definitely in. He threw one pitch and had the 2 pickoff attempts, and then he came out for Guzzi, and then he's back in now. So, like you said, I'm not sure if that's even allowed. Obviously, Coach Bobby Muth out there asking what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure. There must be some technicality in the rule that Conwell-Egan has Johnson back on the mound. I'm not sure what that technicality is, and shout out to our producer LJ McKnight for trying to get the rule books up for us. It doesn't necessarily say anything about it. It says that a pitcher cannot be put back in, but nonetheless, Chris Grasso up for the prep, and he takes the first pitch high, 1-0.
You know, Ryan, if I'm the prep, though, I'd rather face Johnson than Brady Guzzi. So I wouldn't really be complaining in this situation.
Second pitch on the outside, 2-0. Oh, so our LJ McKnight, our producer, telling us that there is a technicality in the rule where Johnson can be put back into the game. Grasso swings this one to third, fielded cleanly, play over at first. Not made! It goes past Guzzi at first. Grasso heading for second, and he will get in standing. The Hawks with a man in scoring position.
So it's because he went back into the field, he can come back to pitch. If they took him off the field, he couldn't come back.
Ryan, just where you want to be now. No outs, runner already in scoring position. This is a great opportunity here now with Will Ward up.
He just said it. Will Ward up to the plate for St. Joe's Prep with a chance to play hero, and John Weaver will come in for Chris Grasso or never mind. I thought he was coming in as the complimentary runner. He is not. Weaver has been the complimentary runner before, and I think that there might be a pitching change here. Yeah, it looks like it. Johnson walking away from the mounds. Never mind. They might keep him in there.
We're going back to Guzzi.
Well, let's see. Guzzi walking in like he's getting ready to pitch. Never mind. They will remain with Johnson. It looked like Brady Guzzi was walking in like he was getting ready to start throwing the baseball. But Will Ward now up with a chance to play hero for St. Joe's Prep.
Will Ward, the real power hitter for this team. If he can get a ball deep into the outfield, we could even see an advanced runner to third.
That would be great for the Prep. And Weaver, he will be a complimentary runner for Chris Grasso. Give all the love to Chris Grasso. Hustled down the base path, reached on an error, and advanced to second, putting the Prep in this position for Will Ward to possibly drive in a run. And there's a throw to first by Johnson. I'm not sure if he knew that Weaver was on second. That might be a balk. I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know really what that, once again, I've said it once before, that was bizarre.
Yeah, we've seen some really interesting moves this game between mind games with pitchers and batters. Obviously, Johnson coming back into pitch, and now that.
I'm not sure what happened there. Weaver not taking a big lead off second. Off speed, low to Ward, 1-0. That's a great look from Will Ward. Obviously, with the game being the way it is, you would think that Johnson would throw some off speed, try to get the Prep to swing. You don't want anything in play if you're Conwell-Egan. Pitch in the dirt again. Great stop at the plate. Weaver stays at second. And they will intentionally walk Will Ward after 2 pitches, gets him on with no outs. Jack Keenan now at the plate for St. Joe's Prep.
Ryan, I think that's a pretty good move for Conwell-Egan. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you give up 1 run or 2 runs here, so that doesn't really play into effect. But now you've got the double play, you've got the force at third. Just opens up more opportunities for the out.
Keenan, 0 for 3 today. He will get the chance to play hero for the Prep as he hits this one into right center field. You have to think Weaver's going to tag. He'll hold.
Looked like Weaver initially got ready to go and jumped, but smart of him to not go, as the throw back into the infield was very quick and would have gunned him out at third.
John Sittler now up for St. Joe's Prep with 1 out in the inning. It looked like that ball was not too deep, and if you're the Prep, you don't want to take too many risks. You don't want 2 outs in the inning. Probably the best decision if you are John Weaver. Here's Sittler. Hits this one. Pass Guzzi! Weaver will stay at third. Everyone's safe. Bases loaded. Danny Matthews, who has shut down Conwell-Egan in the last 2 innings. All he needs is a long fly ball.
Ryan, this would be huge. Finish it off on both ends. Obviously, like you said, he came in, he's pitched an absolute gem in relief, and now has the opportunity to finish off Conwell-Egan and get the Prep's first walk-off of the year.
Infield in for St. Joe's Prep. Almost everyone's on their feet. Danny Matthews at the plate. And he fouls this one back to start.
Ryan, it looked like Johnson kind of hung that one right down the middle, and a little risky, especially with bases loaded and only 1 out.
0-1 to Danny Matthews. He's going to bunt. He's going to show bunt. This ball goes to the backstop, and St. Joe's Prep win! John Weaver with the walk-off run on the pass ball, and the Prep have taken down Conwell-Egan at FDR Park. What a game. The Prep fight from behind to get the victory.
Ryan, what a way to end. And obviously, as a Prep fan, I want to think that no matter what, we would have scored the run, but definitely a lot easier for the pass ball and Weaver to just get in on that.
I can't believe it. What a game for St. Joe's Prep. This team is special, ladies and gentlemen. Undefeated in the PCL. Have just defeated Conwell-Egan. There couldn't be a better ending to this one as the Hawks get the win at FDR Park. Well, Chris, I would love to continue talking about this game, but I got to get to the ringmaster at St. Joe's Prep. I think some of these guys do too as well. So we'll end it here on WSJP. Thank you for tuning in. The Hawks get the 4-3 lead over Conwell-Egan at FDR Park. From myself, Ryan Sullivan, my color analyst, Chris Colman, our producer, LJ McKnight. Thank you to Teo Kukar for stepping up last minute to do the camera here on WSJP. We say thank you, have a good night, and go Prep.